think are we?
We're live.
Hello, happy Magic Monday. I was trying to take one more note before it went live. And my pen was out of ink. I meant to forget that today.
You're meant to forget it today. That's funny. Happy Magic Monday, everybody. I'm noticing I forgot my necklace.
Like we were prepared, but not.
Prepared, but not prepared. That's funny.
Okay,
Happy Monday.
I see us here. Happy Magic Monday. We have heard you. We have heard you all.
We've heard you all.
Not all. Well, we've heard everyone that had something to say. Since our last Magic Monday, where we asked for your questions, because we are doing plant medicine do's and don'ts on Thursday. It is a tell-all masterclass of plant medicine do's and don'ts. And we asked you, our audience, what questions you have. Now that we have had so much experience with journeying with plant medicine, it's almost like, what did I used to be afraid of? What were the questions, right? Like, what do we really need to address here? Doesn't everyone just trust the process? And so instead, we are asking you all, like, what are your questions or your thoughts or your concerns? We even asked for advice and got it. And so we have lots of hot topics that we're talking about. We have heard you. We've heard your questions. And here's some of the awesome topics and questions that we'll be going over in plant medicine do's and don'ts.
Yeah, go ahead, Megan. Tell us more.
You can have a drink while you took while I caught my breath.
Well, you can catch your breath and take a drink. We know that we've had the question, we're going to be answering the question around fears around getting stuck in the medicine.
Yeah,
right?
I can so relate to this one. I think Jane asked the question and she asked it publicly. So, yeah. Can I get stuck there? Will I get stuck there? And oh man, that is such a great question, because one of my biggest questions is like, oh my gosh, what if I get stuck? What if I never come back? What if this, even if it is blissful and amazing, I still want to come back to this life. Like, I've got kids and a husband and, Megan to be. So that's a great question. Can you get stuck? Will you get stuck? We'll be covering that. Was there another one that you had in mind?
Yeah. Do you want to take another sip? Yeah, that's so funny, because that was not a fear or a question that occurred to me until you and I talked about it. So that'll be really fun to dive into on Thursday. And another one, somebody posted in, like, they're afraid to do medicine because they're a mom. And they heard that it changes you so much. So there's concern around being too different for your children or something. So that's definitely something. You and I are both moms. My kids are grown, so I'm not too concerned about being too different for my kids. But that's definitely something I think you've really enjoyed the shifts and changes.
Yeah.
Experience with me.
In short, you are different, right? And so we talk about, what does that look like for your kids when you come home after this sort of miraculous experience? How does that affect them? How do they experience you now? So we're going over that. Lots of people have shared concerns about the humanity behind going and partaking in these plant medicines. Like, is there something wrong with it? Are we exploiting these types of cultures that have access to ayahuasca or psilocybin or whatever it may be? And that's a really important topic for us, and how we have come to know the shamans that we work with and that sort of thing. So we're covering that. Like, how do you know that you're going to a reputable source, a source that has a desire to share these gifts versus being exploited or forced, right? Because
Right.
there's both out there. Absolutely. There's both out there. So how can you ensure that you're choosing a community or a shaman that is in their free will, free choice, and in their mission of sharing this versus it being exploited? What other ones were there? I have a couple more. Curious if you know more.
Do you have a couple more? I'm trying to, because I don't have it in front of me. Nope, I don't remember.
Safety. People are like, is it safe? Like, what's it going to do to my body? Is this an actual safe thing, right? Especially for those who have been in AA. And I think the email that we sent out today, we specified that maybe it's not for everyone, right? It isn't for everyone, but for if you have a curiosity and a calling, there typically is a reason for that. And so we're talking about like, what's the difference between being an alcoholic and sitting with ayahuasca? Or what's the difference between, you know, I don't know, snorting coke off a stripper's ass and sitting with psilocybin? Guess what? There's a difference, and we're going to go over it. Different lifetime, sorry.
Oh my God. There's another one.
I got another one. Now that I'm on a roll. No pun intended, if anyone knows drug jokes. Jesus. Is gatekeeping. Like, should we even be allowed to? Right? Like, well, gosh, I'm just like this white girl from the suburbs. What gives me the right to go in and sit with such things? And this was a big one, even in ayahuasca, or the Awakening Expanded States of Consciousness, that summit, where we had people who have been doing this for decades and decades and decades, sharing how pivotal it is in the raising of our consciousness. And still there's people that go, you're from California. I'm not from California. You're from California. You shouldn't be doing that. You don't deserve that. You're not indigenous, right? And so there's this same sort of cancel culture and gatekeeping. Oh, if you're white, you don't get to have these experiences without feeling terrible about yourself, right? And so we're bringing all of these together so that for anyone who might be interested in being with one of the plant medicines, that you can go in with a clear and open heart, body, and mind, without these thoughts and illusions that can fog a really potentially transformative experience with shame or guilt or worry. Let's see, there was, okay, this was a great one. Like, what can we do if we can't afford to go to a retreat? Right?
Yeah.
What do we do if we can't afford to do that? So we're going to cover that. What happens if you're just not ready to go to a retreat? Do you get left out of this? What happens if you're not indigenous and you're not part of the culture? Are you left out of this? Like, we're touching on all of these things so that you can start from a clean slate, right? As you start to go inward with, is this a experience for me? Is this something that my heart is calling for? We can take out some of these clouded illusions or expectations or judgments.
Yeah, so important, because the more you know, knowledge is power, right? And you don't want these ideas to get in the way. We don't want for these ideas to get in your way to having this transformative experience, to accessing these parts of your mind, your soul. I don't know which it is anymore. Megan and I were talking this morning. It was like, I don't know. I know so much now that I don't know.
Yes.
right? It's like,
I know, and I know enough to know I don't fucking know.
I don't know exactly. So good.
Yeah, and we highly recommend that you find someone who knows enough to know that they don't know it all. Oh, there's another great one around integration. How long does it take to integrate? How long will you be integrating? How do you know if you have integrated? That's a really important piece for us, especially as we support our clients in integrating for perhaps a lifetime. Maybe it's a lifetime. I mean, I'm still integrating my childhood. Like,
Yeah.
like integration is part of life.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to be, it's not like, oh, now I'm done integrating. I'm complete with that. That's what you and I have discussed, that like levels and levels come in, and you start to understand. It's like the medicine creates this access point. And once that access point is opened, and I want to say this right, because I don't want people to be freaked out. It's opened, and it's something that you get to access and utilize and integrate. Your soul knows the perfect timing to integrate each piece, is what I'm saying. It's like that is an entry point at that when you decide to do medicine, and then integration goes on and on after that.
And on and on and on,
And
right? Like for me, it just is part of the process of life now. And what I love about plant medicine, and this is coming from, we have been in the spiritual realm for our entire lives. I mean, I've been psychic since I was a little girl. And the reason why my psychic skills stayed where most people forgot is because I had my mom and my grandma who supported it instead of like, ooh, let's just push this away. And so I've had these extreme out of body experiences, both all my life, right? I've literally left my body and came back with all these different memories and stories, and could hear and see different dimensions. It's how I was giving readings. And still, journeying with plant medicine was beyond anything I could have ever imagined or described. I had only been scratching the surface. And now that I have journeyed and I continue to integrate, and then I journey, and then I integrate, and over and over and over, what I was sharing with just this morning is that these moments of the best way to describe it without claiming to be it is these moments of enlightenment, right? Now, in the medicine, in those moments of enlightenment, it can last what seems like a very long time. And then I would come back and I would just get glimpses, right? It's like as if for a second I was in a state of enlightenment, or 10 seconds, a state of enlightenment, or I would see something and there would be the memory of full oneness of all of the I am, and that there wasn't a difference between me. I was all of it, and it would happen in seconds. And now it can expand into minutes, and I'm not journeying, right? So that is proof of integration, which is, okay, I had the imprint within the medicine journey of this oneness. And now I am working that muscle of maintaining that without the medicine, right? The goal is the same as with anything. Like you use the example of tarot cards. When I was younger, I used to use tarot cards or an angel board, which is kind of like a Ouija board. And did I say that right? Ouija board? That doesn't sound right.
It is right.
It doesn't sound like a real word. But now to use one of those tools would honestly slow me down, right? Because it just pours through. So I don't need that tool anymore. And so with plant medicine, we are co-creating with the plant medicine, not to lean on it, but to train us. And now I can have those expanded states of enlightenment and consciousness for minutes at a time. Maybe that doesn't sound like much, but I'm talking this elevated oneness to hold that for 30 seconds or 2 minutes it brings you to your knees. So it brings me to my knees. I cry, right? Or I'm not sad, but I am gonna cry. And that's part of integration. And that's why we're doing this plant medicine do's and don'ts, because everyone is allowed to experience this.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's powerful, powerful medicine. And if you go in uneducated, you miss the gift. And plenty of people have missed the gift. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We want you to have the experience that supports your expansion, your healing, and your growth. And we're dedicated to that, which is why we're doing this free training this Thursday. It's coming up this week.
Yep, on Thursday, it is a tell-all. We're not holding anything back. It all belongs. You belong, we belong, the plant medicine belongs. And yep, we're just opening up Pandora's box and going to be as forthcoming and authentic and honest with our process and our experience and how that can hopefully support you. Plant medicine is on the rise, as you all may know. And so really spreading accurate and accurate and loving information is what aligns with these plant medicines, truth and love. And anything other than that, you're gonna feel it. You know, that's how you know. You don't want to go that way.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Well said. I think that's it.
We're so excited to see you there. And if watching this, you had any other questions come up, please put it. We have tons of them. And there could be more that just are just waiting for another invitation. So if you have questions that you would like for us to touch on, please put them in the comments below. And if you're seeing this email or you're seeing this in your email, you can email us as well.
Yes, that's right. And Tori's going to pop in the registration link so you can register for this training. It's absolutely free, but in order to get the link, you do need to register. And if you're not going to be live, we'll send the recording out to you as well.
Yeah, because it will be done in a Zoom room. So you've got to register to get the Zoom link at least. And if you're not going to be live, then you are on the list to be able to receive the replay.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
All right. Happy Monday.
And happy Monday. Happy Magic Monday.
Yes.
Magic talking about medicine. Happy Magic Medicine Monday.
Happy Magic Medicine Monday. Love it. All right. Bye, everyone. Mwah.
Bye.